Yeah,
I
so I'm curious as we finish now, and I'm excited and soft and open. Like, how was that for you to be with me
Yeah.
to explore?
No, that was really incredible. I wasn't sure at all where we were going to go with this conversation. I know we started off wanting to talk about how your journey has affected your business life and opened things up, but I really didn't know which aspects we were going to touch on. So it was really beautiful to hear all the different things that you've kind of done for yourself and how different you are from before to how you now show up now in the world.
Yes, and as you shared that, it was so useful how you were leading us because I was so engrossed in sharing all of that. And then you were so nicely joining and reflecting back and finding like a common thread. So I really enjoyed your leadership and your, facilitation on the call. It was really supportive and got me more and more excited with the questions you were asking. Yeah.
Yay, I'm so glad. How was the experience for you for just, yeah, for being on this series and having this
Yeah.
conversation?
Well, what was interesting, I was ready. Like as soon as you ask who wants to join, I was like, I'm in. I was already planning to record first one, and I feel like I made a little step, and now more steps are opening. So I'm now so eager to speak about this because the message will go out. But you spoke about self-awareness. I'm observing myself, even in our call, like, oh, I'm speeding up. What's going on for you, Sanya? It's like, am I talking too fast? Why I'm talking too fast? Like, I don't want to speak fast, but something in me, like this drive in me. So I was observing myself as you were speaking, and I can name now. I feel like I was not connecting with you like I would in relational practices. I felt I was answering your questions, but maybe because I don't have glasses as well. There is a little sadness, maybe. I was a little bit distant from really
Mm.
connecting from my heart and my being. And I think
Yeah.
that's my enthusiasm and excitement that takes me away. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Interesting. Yeah, initially I found that a lot better towards the end of the conversation. Initially, I felt there was that sort of, okay, you'll ask a question, I'm just going to answer that. And there was like this sort of, I don't want to say more kind of thing from you. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'll keep pushing, I'll keep asking questions to see what comes up. So it's interesting to hear you say that you also were like you didn't feel connected, to just kind of yeah, to feel that connection. But it changed somewhere towards the last third of our conversation. I don't know if that changed for you, but for me, I felt like it changed and you started to just be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna openly like, whatever it is, talk.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think it was a topic or something we shared that got me to connect to my heart. And you know what's interesting? I'm only learning about that. I'm learning to take more space because coming from the someone who is small or inadequate or like I make space for other people. I'm not used to taking space in my own like podcast episode. Like there is still the pattern coming in is like your authority here, you lead us, I'll pause where you want to go. I noticed that in our first conversation as well. Like I'm
Interesting. Yeah, that's why you would just answer the question, but not take up more space by actually expanding and sharing and talking more.
Yes, and when I expanded and shared more, there was discomfort. I would go from your question somewhere else, and I was like, ooh, like it was literally like, ooh, something is off here. And it's so beautiful to speak about this. And
Yeah,
I hope we can publish it in a certain way just to speak about this inner process that I
yeah,
developed to help me see these points that I can now let dissolve.
yeah, for sure. I would love to add this on. It's a very useful aspect to understand even how your awareness is showing you what was happening. Out of curiosity, what do you think was stopping or blocking you from having that connection when we started?
I think for me, I'm naturally a solver, logical, and to become relational, I need to almost remember and not make an effort, but something to happen for me to get to that state. So this was not about me performing on the episode at all, but I was there to share. It was more like masculine energy, like share what you learned, share your journey, rather than connect with you and the audience. So I think my attention was on sharing and not on connecting. And it's beautiful because it will come through the episode how something shifted in me as I was relaxing and touching different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a practice you do? So even, for example, let's say you're at work or you're in a meeting or anything, is there a practice you do to help you shift from that logical thing to being now more relational?
Unfortunately, I wish there is, but I'm still not investing that time for the practice. But I would regularly go on these relational calls or talk to my friends in that way and have a number of conversations that build that capacity in me that then comes online. And when I'm holding a space, here I was not the one holding a space. When I'm holding a space, that's natural way of being because I would look at you, I would observe your body language, like do you do this or this, and then I would be drawn to name that, and that naturally shifts the space. So I'm learning about me as we speak here. Is
Yeah.
like when I'm holding a space, I have that capacity, but when you hold a space, like I'm almost thinking from a podcast to a podcast, like how am I changing my being?
Yeah, from each one. And I think, I guess that's what it is as well, right? The more you practice, the more then it becomes just your natural to relate in that way rather than using the logical side. So, yeah, the more you're doing it, even with friends, wherever you are, the more you
Feels
practice, the
natural.
better it
Yeah.
becomes.
Yeah. And building this awareness capacity, at least I started to see things aftermath. Like the first podcast we was with the two, if I may say, idols in e-commerce world, with a like a woman holding a podcast, which is like a top podcast, and our client who is like 5 years top speaker. And I didn't know, but I felt small on that first pod. It's like, oh, it's my first podcast. And only later, when I look back, I was like, oh, that's what was going for you, Sanya. So I'm almost like a celebrating these, and I'm laughing now. These new discovery, there are many micro discoveries, and all of
Yeah.
them, like now I'm like taking more space on this podcast than on the previous one. So well done, Sanya. I
Yeah.
gamify it, I think.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. It's always about celebrating that progress as well. That's how we grow, is you celebrate that progress and then you're telling yourself, okay, yes, I got to do more of this. This was the way I wanted to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
reinforcing the journey. Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Actually, please send me this recording when you get a chance.